Geeking Out with Matt Serra. Today, I have the privilege. I'm stuttering like a prick today, Christian.
That's all right.
We're not starting over. We just keep going.
Go with it.
UFC champion, the Ultimate Fighter champion, UFC Hall of Famer. I'm not talking about myself. I'm not giving my resume. Rashad Evans, where are you? Look at that smile.
What's up, Matt? I am in Western New York, visited some family.
Oh, man. Did you just pull over on the side of the road for this interview? Are you really? Because let me know.
No, well, listen. Your interview is that important that I would, but I happen to be getting ready to go into a restaurant, and I was like, you know what? Let me get this interview.
All right. Hey,
out the way.
let me. I like that. Let's get this fucking thing over with, like a Band-Aid. We'll rip it right off. All right. Let me know if they're looking for you, like your buzzer goes off when your table's ready or anything. I don't want to keep you, but yeah, we're gonna let's just catch up a little bit. First of all, great to see you, man. You look great. You made it through the other side, and you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We got casualties in the game, Rashad. You realize that?
A lot.
Isn't it
a
like
lot of casualties.
when we started this thing, it was like, it's a lot safer than boxing, and I still agree it is. But isn't it kind of a little depressing when we see some guys now, they're showing some signs of some CTE and they're wacky, or else they made some bad decisions like a lot of guys we know. It's kind of because now we're like the OGs of the game. Like now we see, after this sport's been around for 30 years and plus, you know.
Yeah, you're right, man. Like you definitely starting to see it now. Well, I'm definitely starting to see just how people are aging with the sport. Fighters that fought a long time, had a lot of wars inside the octagon, and then now to see them now, you do see the decline, and you do start to see that. Like you said, we said we were a lot different than boxer, and it felt safer because you weren't getting knocked down and having a chance to get back up to get more concussed. But now, I'm seeing a lot of guys that are slowing down at a rate that has me thinking like, dang, maybe I need to pull back a little bit. Because listen, Matt, I'm still in a gym. I'm still training. I'm not getting hit in the head like that. I do like a lot of technical sparring. But, there's times where I do mix it up, and I'm very fortunate to be able to, like you said, make it out through the other side without sustaining too much damage. But, with a sport like mixed martial arts and the fact that it's still so very young, we just don't really know what that damage truly looks like over a long period of time. But we're starting to get a hint.
And I want to talk about what you got coming up also. But when you first started, you started in Albuquerque with Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I started out in Lansing, Michigan.
Okay.
And then eventually, after the Ultimate Fighter show, I went over to Albuquerque.
Okay, so after the Ultimate Fighter show, so you started your career at just like a local gym? What was it at?
It wasn't even a local gym. It was like this little hole-in-the-wall club that we made because at the time, mixed martial arts wasn't even a thing. It was NHB, and then nobody wanted it inside of their gym. So we made a little club up. And we'll go to Dan Severin's gym as well, too, out in Coldwater, Michigan. And that was my training. That was the basis of how I learned mixed martial arts. And then every once in a while, we'll drive up to Iowa and work out with Pat Militich's team. But that was my genesis of fighting. But then eventually after the Ultimate Fighter show, I got an invite to go and train at the Jackson team, an invite by Keith Jardine.
Oh, I love Keith Jardine, by the way. What a nice guy. He's the opposite when you meet him in person because he looks like a savage. I loved him in the movie with Jamie Lannister, which Shot Caller. Did you see him in Shot Caller? You see Shot Caller?
I did.
That movie, what a hidden gem that fucking movie is. He was great in that, but he looks like such a savage, but he's like the sweetest guy. It's so crazy. I
know. When I first met him, I thought he was like some kind of skinhead, but then I felt so bad. I felt so bad because honestly speaking, if it wasn't for Keith Jardine, I don't know if I would have won the show. And I'm just being honest because not only was he a teammate, but he was like a coach. Like he was teaching me how to do moves that I just didn't know how to do.
You were very raw on the Ultimate Fighter, I remember the showboating. I remember you didn't get along with somebody I had issues with, Matt Hughes, which was And I'm with you on that now. I feel, Matt's been through some stuff, but You know, I look back at that, I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't like the guy. You know what I mean? I just remember myself. But you know, that experience on there, because we have that in common, like being in that house.
Yeah.
It's not, when people watch it on television, it's pretty glorious because you got the music, it's exciting. What's coming up next? You walk into the cage, you got the but when you're there's a reason why guys are jumping over the wall. Isn't it funny? Like, go ahead.
It's nuts, man, because I've never been in a situation where I felt so privileged and unprivileged at the same exact time. I had, and by that I mean this, because you had an opportunity to have whatever you want to eat, whatever you want to drink, and you were spoiled in that capacity. But the ability to have your autonomy and to be able to do what you want to do, it was jail in essence, and not being able to know what was going on in the outside world. I remember just being able to get a sneak of listening to radio, or somebody left some secular music in the CD player at the time. We got a chance to get a listen to something, and it was amazing when we could, but it was so hard to be in that house. I remember one time we pumped ourselves up and we thought that we were going to have a chance to get out one night. It was the 4th of July. And we thought for some reason, because in the first season, they allowed them to have one night out. So we thought that for the 4th of July, they would definitely allow us a chance to get out. And we got all dressed up and we thought that we were going somewhere. And when the realization hit that we were going nowhere, everyone cried.
Yeah.
We all broke at that moment. And I remember sitting on the roof of the Ultimate Fighter house, and we were just passing our beers, just like talking about our lives, crying, man. It was crazy.
It's so funny how it's only 6 weeks, but just not having any music. And that's before social media. Guys now are probably even like, I can't look at my phone. Back then, I'm like, I miss my iPod. And when we were good in the van, good. When we're good in the van, like we're prisoners. But when we'd be quiet in the van, not talking, sometimes they'd put down the cameras and put on a CD for us. Oh, it was beautiful. Rashad, my fight with Pete Spratt was like the last one of the prelims. I remember when I won, thank goodness, at next door, because we were like the same house as you guys before they upgraded it. There was a house party next door. A house party. So we heard the music, and I had the red wine. That didn't make the show, thank goodness. I can't move like you, Rashad. So I was it didn't look good. But what a glorious night that was, I remember our origin story. Now, I like to bring up when I first meet the people I have on the show. And I remember specifically, it was the night that you won the Ultimate Fighter versus. Now, look, to give you all the credit in the world. Now, you fought in a. Did we lose him? Yeah. Welcome to Geeking Out with Matt Serra. So happy to finally have the champ Rashad Evans on the show. Rashad, my man.
What's going on, Matt?
Dude, come on. Just for the people at home, we had Rashad on last week. 12 minutes in, and then the tech went out.
No, I can't believe it went out like that. I honestly don't know what happened, because I felt like it was I felt like we were pulling it off just fine. Then all of a sudden, the audio went out, and we just couldn't seem to figure it out. So,
hey, man, let's get cracking. I want to talk about I'm going to get into what you're doing now, but I like to start with our origin story. Now, I remember first meeting you when you won the TUF 2 heavyweight finale, and you were the heavyweight TUF winner versus Brad Imes, who was freaking the Frankenstein with MMA gloves. That guy was 6'7". Am I correct with that?
yeah, yep, 6'7".
Thank God for overhands.
65 pounds. And when I fought him, I trained with him, of course, on Ultimate Fighter show, and he was a bit green. But then he went during the time in between the finals, and he started training with the guys in Iowa and with Matt Hughes and those guys, and he got a lot better. And I remember when he grabbed a hold of me. Like, have you ever felt in a fight like you immediately feel what you were deficient in going into that fight? Like, I immediately felt like, you know what? I didn't do enough wrestling this camp, because this Joker is a lot stronger, and I didn't even think this was going to be a wrestling match. I thought we was going to stand and bang.
Did you you had to know that you were undersized heavyweight. No, what were you? 220?
Yeah, I was 220 and I barely got on the show because I was so small. Dana White was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. There's no way I'm going to let you on my show. What's going to happen is you're going to get taken down because you're too small to be on my show. And then I'm going to have a boring episode. You know why? And I'm like, why? Because you're too small to be on my show.
That's
And when he and when he said that, I was just like, dang, I was like, man, I had to come up with a quick rebuttal to get myself back on, to save it. But I told him, when heavyweights were fun to watch, they weren't so big and cumbersome. They were guys who could move like Ali, like Mike Tyson. I said, let me bring some excitement back into your heavyweight class, and that's what got me on. And also, one of the producers on the show, he liked me, so
Craig Pelagian, isn't it? Wasn't it?
it was Craig.
It
It was
was
Craig, but
Craig.
it
No?
was Craig, but it's also this guy named Wayne Sampson.
Oh,
Wayne
okay.
Sam, yeah,
I
yeah,
think I know
Wayne
Wayne.
Sampson.
Yeah, isn't it? First of all, and as a fellow, we got some stuff in common. Tough
Yeah.
champs. We got a title, which is great. Hey, thank goodness for that show. Thank goodness for the Ultimate Fighter,
Yeah.
Rashad. Now, I want to let's rewind it a little bit. Where did you grow up? Where did you grow up, and what did you first start training in?
So I grew up in Niagara Falls, New York, which you guys would call pretty much Canada, being a
That's up
being
there.
a
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
New
yeah,
York, where you guys are, right, Canada.
yeah.
So I grew up in upstate New York in Niagara Falls, and it was I was a wrestler. I played football in high school, but it was the wrestling that was my vehicle to get me out of New York and into Michigan, and I went to Michigan State.
When did you first get? When did you first see the sport? MMA, UFC. When did you first
I
watch your first UFC?
I watched my first UFC when it first came out in 1993. I was taking karate at the time, and me and my friends, we would always debate these. We would go on these
Yes.
long debates who would win between Mike Tyson and and Bruce Lee, and who was better between all these different disciplines. And then right before our eyes, what we talked about materialized in the actual fight and like in the organization. And we learned about it was going to happen in a black belt magazine, that the UFC was going to happen in a black belt magazine. So we were able to watch the first one. We were babysitting, we babysat, and our babysitter had a cheater box. So we ended up watching our first UFC there. And at the time we were like, this is amazing. We and then from that day on, we would do like fights and stuff like that, but we never knew it could ever turn into anything serious.
Isn't it what you just said is hysterical because there's not going to be another time here, never a time now going forward. Nobody will ever have those conversations that we had. I had the same conversations with my friends. Who would win with the karate guy? Who would win between Van Damme or that Steven Seagal? Or does that stuff work in a real fight? Or
Yeah.
everybody would always, the death punch, the McDojo people. We didn't know until that
No,
first
we didn't.
UFC, which is amazing. Now,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I mean we grew up. I grew up in like the karate era, and I was like a karate guy. I took Tang Sudo, and we practiced the one shot, one kill. You know what I'm saying? So we thought like somebody who has some boxing, they may be good, but it only takes that one blow that's gonna make them incapacitated and truly change the way the fight's gonna go. But we seen like we also say like see people get you once you get your knee kicked out, like how Jon Jones does,
Yeah.
your kneecap will break and you won't be able to walk. Well, we learned that that wasn't true as well. So I mean, there was a lot of things that was a lot of myths about fighting that was dispelled with the UFC coming around.
It's amazing. And then from that, how did you get that? Did you see, or you saw the first Ultimate Fighter, I imagine?
Yeah, so I was working at a hospital at the time in Lansing, Michigan, and I seen the Ultimate Fighter the first season, and then Dan Severn was a mentor of mine. I would fight on some of his shows out in Iowa or in Indiana, and he was being inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame. And then he calls me one day and he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard about the Ultimate Fighter show?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, you know, they said they'll take a look at somebody if I had, if I knew anybody who would be interested in doing that, but it's for heavyweight. The next season is for heavyweight, and I'm like, I can do it, Dan. I can do it. And Dan was like, he laughed at me because he's like, no, no, it's for heavyweight. And, and I said, yeah, I
Yeah.
could do it. And then he's like, no, you're like 185 pounds soaking wet. There's no way you can do it. So my mission from, then was to kind of prove that I can do it. So I put on a bunch of weight just so I can bulk up and do the show.
Now, I want to talk about something. Well, when I first, now to you winning the show, back to our first conversation, because I remember you mentioned this last time, and I want to get this out there. So when I'm talking to you, I didn't realize, I knew you were exhausted. I don't even remember even talking to me. I came up, you were breathing heavy, you were sitting down. It was backstage, and I'm like, hey man, congrats. You shook my hand, and thank you, this and that. Tell me about how you were feeling right after that fight.
Well, I mean, it was the most tired I ever felt in my life. It was like a bad dream fat and Brad Hines because, when I knocked him down, I felt like I had him out. Him hitting the ground woke him up, and he just kind of kept coming. He just would not stop, to the point where I was so exhausted during the fight, man. I just like I lost control of my bodily fluids, man. I pissed off. I pissed myself, man. I just let it go because it was I was just I was just that exhausted, and that became the reference point in my life. No matter when I was training for a fight, I'm like, I never want to be that tired again, because I remember being so tired, and then all of a sudden I had like this feeling like I gotta pee. Then all of a sudden I'm just like, I can't even hold it, and I'm just sitting there, just
Hey,
and I'm just peeing.
listen, man, it could have been worse. It could have been a number 2. You know what I mean? Thank goodness. Sometimes pee happens, and so, hey, man, it was worth it. It was worth it. The shower probably felt great, but
Oh yeah, the relief felt great. The relief felt great.
Now, some fights that stand out. I want to talk about a few things in your career. Now, one, we never seen this guy again after you kicked him, Sean Salmon. Sean Salmon,
Oh, yeah.
is that guy? Did he make it out alive of the building? That was one of the nastiest head kicks. Now, and again, you shown that you were well rounded, but you were, you had that wrestling background.
Right.
That kick, bro, put everybody on alert. And then we never seen him.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever seen him again.
Nah, not. I think he may have fought one more time in the UFC, but he was he was messed up after that fight. It was crazy because going into that fight, there was a whole big talk that I can't finish fights, and then here I was with my first opportunity to headline a fight card, and it was the first main event that I had, and I was supposed to be closing out for because they were launching a new show on Spike TV. So I had like a certain time frame, and I remember during that fight, that was like a layup. That fight was supposed to be a layup because the person who I was supposed to fight, I think it was Jason Lambert or something like that.
Okay.
He wasn't able to fight, or whoever it was. I forget who exactly, but he was a replacement. So I was supposed to go in there smash. And when I go out there, I see the opportunity for the kick. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's the kick. That's just, I train it, I see it, I see it. But you know how it is, Matt. Like when you get something in your mind and you see it. Sometimes it takes like a good smack in the face to realize, you know what, try something else, because I was kind of like spamming it, and he was taking me down,
Yeah.
and he was winning the round, and it was like the first round I've ever lost in a fight, and I'm just like, yo, what is going on? And I remember going back to the corner. Dana White was like they were sitting right there at the desk, and I look at him, and he's looking at me like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
He
what are you
did,
doing?
to his credit though, he was a very good wrestler. He
He was a real good
Yes.
wrestler. Yeah, he was a really good wrestler. And then I'm like, okay, okay. So I remember getting kind of pissed off. And then I threw that kick, man, and it was unbelievable.
Dude, that's a highlight. After that fight, I'm gonna skip around a little bit because this is a huge one. And I want to
Yeah.
know how you felt. Because I remember I saw this, I think, in a bar in Atlanta. I was doing a seminar and I watched this and the crowd went crazy. Chuck Liddell. Chuck
Yeah.
Liddell, the legend of, people think MMA. I mean, I'll say he was one of the very first superstars of the sport. He's still, to this day, Chuck Liddell, people say the name and the Iceman. He's got the mohawk.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
You know, it felt amazing because that was really one of the first times that, I really started to believe in myself in such a way. I felt like I was good enough before, but that was that big measuring test for me to let me know that I've kind of arrived. Because when I first got into the UFC, my boys were like, "Yeah, what weight class you gonna fight in?" And I was like, "Light heavyweight." And they're like, "Bro, you're gonna fight Chuck Liddell?" And they were acting like what I'm saying, like I
Yeah.
sucked and I couldn't hold a candle to them. So for me, having that moment was just like, okay, now I'm at that stage, and now I need to now I'm here. And when I was getting ready to fight him, leading up to it, I would tell people I had to fight Chuck, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well, good luck." You know that look they give you
Yeah.
when they think you're about to get smashed.
Trust me, I get
So
it.
they gave me that look, and it just kind of motivated me. But when fight week came, that's when the nerves kicked in, and that's when I really started to battle myself mentally, like really starting to second guess myself, and really just kind of letting that fear of what's going to happen just get to me. And Randy Couture gave me some good mind wine to help me just really understand like what this is truly about. Competing is truly about. And he told me, he said, you got to make friends with the worst outcome. And when he said that, I sat there and I meditated on it that night. And I started to believe, and I started to just really really let go and surrender. Because Matt, as you know, like that's what this is. It's all about the fight game is truly all about finding a way to surrender to whatever is going to happen and being okay with it. Being okay with the fact that you may go in a cage, and when you come out, you may never be the same again, and be okay with it.
Yeah.
And once I made friends with all of that, I was like, yo, let's go. Because I had no more fear. I had nothing else that was holding me back. And that really allowed me to go in there and fight my best. I remember when Chuck Liddell was walking out, when he was walking out to the fight, his music was playing, and I was jamming to his music because I'm like, yo, let's get this on. Because I was just
Yeah.
in that playful spirit, and I was like, I made friends. I shed all the fear.
Isn't it great you could feel it if you could feel like that in every like there's certain fights when
Yes.
everything is just right and
It's just right.
you're like I felt it from the walkout to when I was in there to when I was moving around. It felt like a day of sparring. And there's other days you're like, wow, that didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
that, and I remember after that, if I remember correctly, you did the Friend Sanford, didn't you? Didn't you do
I
the
did.
did
I did. You see, I didn't. So here's
it's
the thing,
okay.
right?
Hey man, now listen,
Yeah,
adrenaline.
I did because I went to go check on them, and they were like shooing me away, like go, go, go. And they were like, and I was like, hey, and everybody was quiet, and I was like, I'm coming to join you.
I'm coming
This
to
is the big one, Elizabeth. Oh my God.
dude, it was great. It was a good impression. Now, after that fight, and first of all, what a game of inches. Because Chuck is a do or die fighter. He was throwing an uppercut, like a Hayukin uppercut at you, which you beat him to the punch. Thank God.
Yeah.
No, I think of that
No,
when I look
I
at
know.
certain fights, and I'm like, man, if my head was a little bit more there, I would have been decapitated. It's like, ooh, but
Dude, Chuck
hey,
Liddell
timing is
had
everything.
accuracy out of this world. He had power. Like he hit me in the first round, and honestly, it felt like I got hit with an electric, like a lightning bolt just kind of went through my toes. And like when you get hit with a good shot, your feet go numb for a second.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And I'm like, yo, if he hits me again like that, there's no doubt about it that I'm out.
Powers,
He had a weird punch because like I seen why he knocked so many people out, because usually you can tell what somebody's gonna throw with just how their shoulders are when they let go
yeah,
to punch. But all his punches from the shoulder release, they all look the same. And it was like a baseball punch like a baseball where it can kind of change up mid swing.
yeah.
So it was kind of like I didn't know what he was throwing sometimes.
It's weird like that with MMA. Like me too. I
Yeah.
was never I'm not that pretty on the pads at all. But in sparring, I could land like, with those little gloves, and it could be a little bit sloppier, but the power with those 4-ounce gloves, makes all the difference in the world.
And that wrap underneath too. That wrap is like a brick.
Yeah, man. It's a different feeling than, say, the 16-ounce gloves. You know?
Absolutely.
This is something I want to dive into, because this is something that personally, it bothered me and it bothered Ray Longo a lot. Now, I want to talk about, you had a lot of success, and now, how long were you with the Greg Jackson gym, the Jackson and Winklejohn? How long were you with them?
Man, I was with those guys from 2005 to 2009, 2009. So yeah, for about 4 years, 4 to 5 years.
And
I would
now,
say.
they approached you. They came and they found you.
No. Well, I came there because Keith Jardine was on the Ultimate Fighter show,
right.
and he was like my coach on that show. Like, he helped me through everything on that show. And when I got done from the show, I went out there to Greg Jackson's camp.
And you were their guy.
Yeah, I mean, we were the four horsemen. It was me, Jardine,
Diego.
Joey Villasenor,
Diego
Nick
Sanchez.
Marquardt, and then well, Diego left at the time.
Oh, okay.
Diego left at the time. He started doing his thing and training with De La Hoya and those guys.
Okay.
And when he left, GSP came in.
Oh,
so
okay.
then that 4 became 5, and then we started like a training program where we would go to Denver, we'll go to New Mexico, and then we'll go to TriStar, and then we'll go out to New York City with Henzo and Phil Nurse.
Yeah.
So we had a nice few areas that we will all circulate and go through, and it made it cool because when you go to new gyms, sometimes you bring in new information, you bring in different ways, and our coaches weren't so territorial like a lot of coaches are nowadays. So we got a lot of really good coaching from all these different places, and we started to grow really fast because of that.
Now, that is a beautiful thing, and you were doing so great in your fights. Now, maybe you could clear it up for me. Maybe I have it wrong. Jon Jones got recruited by Greg Jackson and the team. Is that right? Or did he just walk into the gym? How did that work out?
Yeah, he kind of got recruited, but at the same time, he was kind of interested in coming to the gym. And at first, I didn't really want him to be part of the team because of the fact that, for one, I knew he was gonna be amazing, and I watched him when he fought Stephan Bonner, and he was amazing. But then on top of that, I already had 2 other guys in my weight class that I couldn't fight. One being Brian Stan, and the other being Keith Jardine. So I'm like, if there's 3 guys in the weight class, it's going to be impossible for us not to fight, because there's no way you're going to tell Joe Silva that we're not going to fight each other, because Joe was like that. Joe would be like, yo, nah, fuck that. You guys are going to fight,
I mean, now, as a head coach, that's an immediate conflict of interest. That's a conflict of interest. You just, that's just, it is what it is. This is my problem. Now, you guys started, so they let him in with potential problem. Everybody has success. We see that there could be a problem in the future, but I guess they'll worry about that when it comes. Did you bring up your concerns to them, or?
No, I brought up my concerns, and we vowed that we would never fight each other.
Yes.
And we vowed that we will take the Keith Jardine approach, and the Keith Jardine approach that we had was, we'll strive to be champion, each of us individually chasing it and pursuing it. But if one of us get to the championship first, then the other job, the one who didn't make it, was to play that supporting role, and I was down to do that. I was down to be the second best, and whatever the case may be. I was down for my guys like that, but things got a little different.
It's so, it's so easy to say it until it's right in front of you. That's why I give so much respect and credit to Merab and Aljamain Sterling, because they were in the same exact position as you guys.
Yeah.
And me and Ray, we talked about it a lot back then, and we actually brought it up because of their situation. I feel you were wronged. When you guys got set up to fight, Jon Jones is now all of a sudden you know, the new you were the new kid in town. You won TUF. They're happy to have you. Now all of a sudden, oh, here comes this. You know, you married. Oh, here's this new piece of ass. I'm just trying to layman's terms.
Yeah, yeah.
My terms. But you know, and all of a sudden now, so now the fight is happening. The fight is happening. What happens with the coaches? What do they say to you? What do you say to them?
Well, before it got to that point where we were gonna fight each other, I left the team because, you know, when John became champion. So John became champion when he fought Shogun, and
Yes.
that was the fight that I was supposed to have. I was supposed to fight Shogun, but what happened was I had a knee injury that put me out of the fight. So
Wow.
John fights Ryan Bader, and then he gets a chance to fight Shogun. Now, um, before he even took the fight with Shogun, he's like, "Hey, you think it's cool? How would you feel if I fought Shogun for the belt?" And I'm like, "Bro, you know, I'm if you become champion, like I said, I'll play that role and I'll be down." And he's like, "All right, cool." So he wins, he becomes champion. I'm happy for him. It's cool. But then, like, people kept coming up to me and was like, "Yo, John said that he'll fight you and he'll destroy you and all this stuff." And I was hearing that John said that he will beat me. So then I call him on the phone. I'm like, "Yo, why are people telling me that you're saying that you will beat me and you beat me in practice and all this other stuff, some ego shit, right?"
Yeah.
And then he was just like, "Yeah, like, I mean, I said that, but I didn't say this." But I'm like, "So you a fight?" And he's like, "Hey, it is what it is." I'm like, "So you want to fight?" And he's like, "Yo, I mean, yeah." And I was like, "Oh." So then I called Greg and I asked Greg, I'm like, "Yo, Greg, you need to talk to your boy because he just said that he would fight me." And then Greg was like, Greg spoke to him and he still stood on his ground saying that he would fight me. So I'm just like, you know what, man? I just, used some choice words, and I just decided to leave.
Now, it had to be upsetting leaving the gym that you were at first,
Yeah,
and even more upset. Now, if I'm fighting a fight and I had Longo and fucking Henzo in the corner across from me, that's a mind fuck. That is
right.
like, dude, I want to fight you guys, which I
Yeah,
would never want
yeah,
to do. I love those guys. But my point is, fuck, Rashad, I feel for you with that, man.
yeah.
Talk about
It's
there's no code anymore, man. I mean,
Nah,
me and
yeah,
Longo, from when that was this whole time during that whole thing, we weren't really close. I feel like saying, dude, this guy, I mean, these guys are wrong in him, man. I mean, I'm
yeah,
not starting to stir up old shit.
yeah,
I never got to talk to you about this.
yeah.
And
No, you
we're a
you
tight
were right,
crew, me and
man.
my crew. And I'm like, and at one point, I don't know if this is true or not. He goes, at one point, Rashad was looking to come out here. He was looking at different gyms. He went over there. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
Were you ever thinking about going to New York?
yeah. I
All
was
right,
thinking
Longo
about
wasn't
it.
bullshitting me. We would have loved to
Yeah,
have you. I would
yeah. I
never have
was
cornered
thinking about
against you. I'm fucking around.
it. Yeah,
I'm not attacking those guys. I like Greg Jackson. But I just
yeah.
feel for you, man.
It was it was hard, and that's what made promoting the fight and everything hard because I had to like keep talking about it, keep
Yeah,
talking about it,
yeah.
keep talking about it. And Greg was like, he was more than a coach. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Greg was like a brother. Greg was like a brother to me. And you know, he was somebody that I fought for. Like I've always been lucky enough to have coaches in wrestling and in football that I would perform for. They brought that extra bit out of me. Like I felt like I can't lose in front of them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you ever have a coach like that? Like you know what? You're gonna have
Yeah.
to kill me because I'm not about to lose in front of my coach.
Yeah.
Like Greg was that guy for me. And when he did that, I was just like, damn, it was just like that. And at the time he was going through transition in his life and things like that. And he was, you know, he had his own things that he was going through. So
Yeah.
I ended up, just letting bygones be got bygones because I did have one of my best coaches, Mike Van Arsdale. Mike Van Arsdale was amazing. So it was difficult, but at the same time, man, it was a hard thing to go through.
Yeah, it must have been. But now let's get back to Positiveville. Hey, I'm jumping all over the place, but you got a title. You're a UFC
Yeah.
champion, man. They can never take that away. At least I say that. I mean, I didn't defend mine either. But hey, you are a fucking
Yeah.
champion, brother. How did that feel? I mean, dude, Ultimate Fighting champion. Now you're fighting Forrest Griffin, right?
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
the first Ultimate Fighting winner versus the second Ultimate Fighting winner. You
Mhm.
got you when you take him out. That feeling of just the fucking when it was done. How'd that feel? What guys?
Man, it felt unexplainable in a way, like in my mind's eye, I've always thought like when I become champion, it'll feel like this and it's just gonna be like that. But it wasn't, it felt a little different, but it felt like unbelievably amazing because I did it. I went out
Yeah,
there and I've you know, beat the odds. I've surpassed people's expectations of me. They didn't even want to give me a spot in the Ultimate Fighter show. I
yeah.
was the weak link, and no, everyone booed me. No one liked me. So for me to become UFC champion, for me it was just it was just unbelievable. It was just a crazy ride. Like I went from fighting um Chuck Liddell in September, then fighting Forrest Griffin in December. And it was just like, it was such a fast whirlwind. And at the same time, I was having, my third child, and it
Yeah.
was just a crazy, crazy time in my life. And it was one of the best experiences I ever had.
Now, I want to talk about real quick your transition as far as now when I met you early on, and we won. And I know you remember this. We did and I'll never do those again. The behind the desk stuff. You're good at it. The
Yeah.
analyst stuff. What were we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
Fox? What were we doing
Yeah.
back then? Remember that
It was Fox. It was Fox.
they had to give me some.
But you were good. You were good though, man.
We
You
had
were really
fun.
good.
Yeah, we had fun, but you know what I'm not good at? I'm not good at the fake laughing. You're funny, but
Yeah.
when there's somebody in your ear, I got ADD, and they're like, "All right, we're rapping it," and I'm just like, "Oh," and then Karen Bryan says a corny joke, and I got to be like, "Ah, I like Karen Bryan," but you know what I mean? You're great at it. But now look,
Yeah.
we got along back then, but
Yeah.
dude, I'm telling you, and listen, I'm saying this because I love you now, and I'm so happy you're
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna say you were a little different. You were a little. You could some might. There's guys that wear sunglasses inside. You were that guy, a little arrogant,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little, a little, a little feeling it, and
Yeah.
but you're not that guy now. I remember fast
Yeah.
forwarding. We were in a, we were in the bar at a hotel somewhere. And I think I took your vape pen or somebody, and I'm sucking on that thing. You're like, dude, who are you? We never really got to hang out. You're like, dude, because I'm making love to that thing. I'm like, and you're like, hey, dude. He goes, dude, who are
Yeah.
you? And we were bullshitting a little bit. And, it was great. And I'm like, dude, there was something different about you. I'm like, you just
Yeah.
seem more zen-like and mellow and just cool. I don't know, it's the dreads. What happened with you? Talk to
You
me.
know, um, you know, Life has a way of humbling everybody, and just through the sport of alone, the ups and downs, um, it just brings a lot of humbling out of you. But for me, it was when I really started to go past this idea and who I thought that I was and who I thought people thought that I was. Because like you said, the one that wore the sunglasses and was cool, that's Sugar, that's the performer. But Rashad is somewhat shy, he's soft spoken, he's more calculated with his thought. He don't like to really talk shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm just a different guy. And when I really started to um lean more into who I am versus just living in the expression of the character, and
Yeah.
and life just humbling me, a few psychedelics.
I wasn't
it
gonna
just
bring it
it
up.
just changed your life, man. Like honestly, the psychedelics, man, is truly what it would change my life. And I say that because like I'm not trying to say everybody need,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to advocate that people need to do it, but for me, what psychedelics did, it stripped me down to the essence of who and what I truly am.
Man.
And when I did that, it was something that, it revealed to me um, where I need to come from, where I need to live from, where I need to lead from. And there's no need to try to pretend to be this or be that. And, I got the message. I got the message. So
You
it
did.
changed me.
You did, because I mean, I did Rampage's thing, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
he's a great guy now, Rashad. And he's like, yeah, I know he used to be an asshole. I go, no, listen, I didn't say he was an ass. Rashad, you guys are hysterical, because one of the biggest beefs you had your fight and bested him, and now from the craziness back then, just let it happen. Just let it happen. I remember that, dude. I was getting close.
Yeah.
I was getting closer to the TV. You guys were about to scrap. He's breaking down doors. And now you went through that. You seem to have a nice relationship now, but you're not done yet. You guys are supposedly having a boxing match.
Yeah.
Is it happening?
The boxing match is going to happen. It's going to happen. We just got to find a new promotion, new organization that's going to be able to do it.
Okay.
He was talking earlier this week or last week on Aiden Ross's show, talking about, they might get us on there to do a fight. And yeah, I would love to compete against him and whoop that ass once again. I mean, here's the thing. Like, I don't dislike Rampage. Like,
Yeah.
we had a chance once we did the Boss Level movie.
Yeah, you did a
Joe
movie
Carnahan.
together.
Yeah.
What movie was
Joe
that?
Carnahan, Boss Level.
Okay.
Yeah. Joe Carnahan put us in there as German twins and working alongside them and really getting a chance to know them. I got to realize
German twins?
German twins.
Interesting casting, but go ahead.
Yeah, that was the funny part about it. So but after being around them for a few weeks at a time, a couple months or whatnot, I realized that, like, I really like this dude. Like, I like this dude, and we got a chance to kind of tell our side of the story, and we got a chance to work out and train together. So it was really cool, to really get to know him on that level. And now, he's always talking shit, so it's kind of funny, because he hit me up and just kind of say something crazy to me, and we'll kind of go back and forth, and it's all fun and games,
How did you get on that podcast, the Jackson podcast? Did they reach out to you? Or did you guys talk before that? Or you did the movie before that?
They reached out to me. Yeah, they reached out to me. I think Bear reached out to me.
And that's after you guys already shot the movie, so you kind of cool already.
Yeah.
You know what's great about that is, man, you guys are in a cool place, and you could actually compete versus each other and just make some more cash.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, but he's still so competitive with me even now. You know what I'm saying? Like, even now,
that's not going
he's
nowhere.
competitive with me, and it's funny though. It's funny. It's funny to me, because we'll like go out to eat, or we'll hang out or something, and then he'll say something. So I'm just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's funny.
So
what I'm wild. What strikes me strange is, why boxing? Why boxing?
Well, I mean, MMA is kind of rough,
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you on that. That makes sense.
It's the training camp that's going to get you.
That makes all the sense in the
camp that's going to get you. And not only that, but I feel like, because we both are doing something totally different, it's going to shake up the possible odds of what could happen.
100%. They're not going to say, all right, it's going to be a repeat of when they fought, because now Rashad can't grapple. Now what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Hey, first of all, you got my money.
When you were fighting MMA, I definitely would just take him down and.
Yeah. You're like, look, man, I already. Hey, and then if you beat him in this, then what's next? Pickleball? No, I'm only kidding. Listen, that's fucking great. Hey, before we get out of here, we like to geek out on movies and shit. Are you watching anything right now? I just got done with Mobland with Tom Hardy, and it's the best fucking series I saw in ages. Holy oh, dude. Oh, Mobland with Tom Hardy. If you like
I gotta
Sopranos
watch
and
that. I gotta
stuff,
watch that. I gotta
holy
watch that.
dude, it is wild. It's so fucking
Yeah.
great. Oh, dude, my nipples are hard talking about it. Are you watching anything now or any movies?
Yeah, you know, I just finished this series called You on Netflix,
I heard
and I was
about
kind of
that.
late. Oh my, listen, it's it's a series that you just will purge and just
You?
enjoy every bit of
The premise
you
is,
on Netflix.
what's the premise? Is it hard to explain?
No, it's not hard to explain at
Go ahead.
all. It's this guy who's a romantic,
Oh,
and being a romantic, he's very protective over who he loves.
all
And
right.
he's got his mind you know based on trying to have this perfect love, and
Oh.
doing in his pursuit of this perfect love, he finds himself pretty much damn near being a serial killer.
Oh, he's a fucking. I knew it turned south. I was about to say you went full hippie on me with the psychedelics, and then all of a sudden he's a serial.
He thought I was gonna write like it's gonna be like a like a com-rom or something.
Exactly. Like where you steering this? Good.
Rashad, did you finish the show? Because I heard that it closed up, like the series ended like perfectly, like because there was like a series finale. I heard it ended really well.
Did it?
Yeah, I finished it up. It ended really well, man. It ended really well. It was amazing.
I'm gonna check that out, man. And then if you have time, check out Mobland.
I'm gonna
You,
do so.
you could do a lot worse. Rashad, anything you want to plug before you get out?
Yeah,
of here?
I want to plug my mushroom company.
Oh,
Go
shit,
to getumbo.com and get some functional mushrooms. Now, these mushrooms are not going to make you trip,
Okay.
but they're going to make you feel amazing. Functional mushrooms have so many health benefits, and it's truly something that has helped me just completely turn my health around and revitalize my life in so many different ways. So go to getumbo.com and check out what we have.
GetHumble.com.
Get Umbo.
Oh, my bad.
Umbo.
What is it?
Get Umbo. Get Umbo.
Umbo.
Yep. UMBO. Umbo.
We got it.
Umbo is the cap of the mushroom, the top of the mushroom.
We're gonna put it on here so they see it when they watch the show. Rashad, man, I can't thank you enough. This was great.
Oh,
this was fun,
Thank you
man.
for having me on, man. I appreciate it. And listen, Matt, I like that you're doing your own thing, man, because you are such a personality. Like
Dude.
you are truly must-see TV. Like you should have a camera following you around all the time because you're just genuinely that entertaining
Come on,
of a
man.
person. So,
dude, thank you so
glad to
much,
see
man. I'm happy we became friends, dude. And when you have that fight lined up, please come back on, man. We'll promote that too. All right,
absolutely, man. I appreciate you,
dude. All my best, champ. The great Rashad Evans. Thank you, Rashad.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man.
Nah, you're the fucking man. That was so great.
Peace.
Take care, brother. That was great. That was great, Christian. Oh, you can't talk anymore. Grab that mic. Forget that mic. Oh, what a day. What a day. All right, look. I don't know. When this airs, I'll probably be back, people. I'm going to Colombia, and I'm getting a super serum.
For what?
My cock. No, not my cock. I might not my cock's fine. I ran with that. I'm hyped up. And I'm attacking my wife later. Ow, ow, ow. Listen.
Breaking microphones and getting...
We're getting nuts. I'm going there. I got arthritis. I got a torn quad. I got ulcerative colitis. I'm trying to stay together, man. I know I got abs. I got a decent bicep. That one got torn. But I like to be on the mats 5-6 days a week. I'm making good people get dangerous. My students need me. My wife, my kids, they need me. So I'm getting stem cells in Colombia. Me and my buddy, Jedi Abe, we're jumping on his jet. That's right, my buddy has a jet. We're going over there and we're going to get started. We're going to get I'm going to be like Steve Rogers with the super serum. It's going to be great. Hey, everybody, I'm going to talk to you in a little bit. Stay humble yet dangerous. What a fun time.